everyone, and thank you for coming back to another D2 Crucible video. I'm Kelson, and today we're going to be talking about the Volta Bracket sniper rifle. It's a strand aggressive sniper, and it's a beautiful looking gun. There are some drawbacks to it, but there are some big benefits to it as well. So let's jump in and take a look. We're going to be going over how to acquire this weapon, the perks on it, how it stacks up to other aggressive snipers in the sandbox, and we'll be outlining each perk and all the benefits that they provide. So without further ado, let's jump in. So this is a new sniper rifle. It dropped with Lightfall, and it can be acquired after completing the campaign. You will have to go to Neomuna to get this weapon. The best way to get it is to grind out rank ups with Nimbus and hopefully get drops that way, or you can do exotic patrols in Neomuna, just doing that LH overload activity. If you load in over and over and pull out your ghost and look for exotic patrols or golden patrols and do those will always drop a Neomuna weapon, and that is just a great way to get a guaranteed drop, and sometimes they even drop red borders, so that is probably the most time efficient way to get drops for this weapon. And of course this is a craftable weapon, so after you grab 5 red borders you can go to the Enclave and craft your own. The nice thing about this is you can min-max it and get all the stats you want, but let's look at its base stats first, and then we will go over the perks and talk about which ones are going to be best. So, as I already mentioned, it is a high impact sniper, 90 rounds per minute, and it's in the strand slot, so that's the kinetic slot up top. Its range sits at 72, it has 23 on stability, 24 handling, 28 reload, 3 in the magazine, 3 airborne effectiveness, 43 aim assistance, and a 50 zoom. It has 76 recoil, but recoil isn't very impactful on these high impact snipers. So first thing you always want to look at when looking at a new sniper is the zoom. Zoom is extremely important because if you are used to a certain zoom and you switch, it can really affect how you play and how you get those twitch snipes or those quick scopes. Zoom affects all of that. So luckily this sniper, the Volta Bracket, has 50 zoom, and that is pretty normal. There are plenty of other snipers like Izanagi's Burden or Frozen Orbit or Succession. Those all have 50 zoom, and personally, I like that. I like all those snipers, and I played with them a lot, and 50 zoom is perfect for me. Anything over that, like the occluded finality, and it starts getting a little bit more difficult. But if you are new to sniping, this is, 50 is a good place to start. You have a lot of different choices, and you can try out a bunch of different archetypes and types of snipers, and in my experience, if you go down from that, then you should be okay. So looking at how it stacks up against these other snipers, really all these high impacts, they're all in this pretty much the same league. I mean, the only deviation we have is 1 or 2 points for every category really. Like I said, the zoom is really where they differ. As you can see here, aim assist, they're all right there, +4, -2, +4, +5, so really those can be made up with just a targeting adjuster mod. And again with range, it's all right there, +2, -2, +2, 0, they all sit right around 70. Yeah, so long story short, they're all pretty much the same, but the 2 stats that you do really want to pay attention to just while we're talking about stats is the range and the handling. So there are a couple that have, a little bit higher handling, and, those ones that stick out are Occluded Finality and Succession. Those ones just have a little bit better base handling, and range, like we said, that's all the same. So let's take a look at these perks on this gun. Right out the gate, sniper mains are going to look at this perk pool and think, there is no snapshot on here, what the hell? And that's exactly what I did. I took a look and I thought, well, there are some perks here and none of them are snapshot. And that really sucks. Snapshot is basically mandatory for a lot of sniping styles. It really helps you aim down sights immediately and acquire a target, and it makes a gun feel extremely fluid, and it's something that you basically always want to have on a sniper. That being said, if there was a sniper I was going to use without snapshot, this would be it. It has excellent perks for laning, and that is really where this sniper is going to shine, is getting in a lane, checking the corners, waiting for someone to peek, and having all the aim assist in the world to snag their dome and rip it off their shoulders. But that being said, let's just take a look at all the other perks. Like I said, you want to have good handling, so that barrel perk, you want to go with fluted barrel. Because in that second column there aren't any magazine perks that are going to boost your handling, I just go with accurized rounds because range does tie into aim assist and the bullet going where you're aiming. So you do want to try and have as good a range as possible. Of course, already with these high impact archetypes, they already have really high range, but topping it off, never a bad thing. In the third column, you have really a lot of good PvE perks. You got shoot to loot, subsistence, triple tap, envious assassin. If I was doing PvE, I would probably go with envious assassin personally. But for PvP, what we're really here to talk about, I go with keep away. And if you're just coming back and you haven't played Lightfall and you're like, what the hell is keep away? It's a phenomenal perk. If you've seen my other reviews on Round Robin and Phylotactic Spiral, I put it on them too. It is a phenomenal perk. Just to give you the specifics really quick, it grants 10 range, 30 reload, and it narrows the accuracy cone by 5% when there are no enemies within 15 meters. And you guys aren't any dummies. With snipers, usually you are outside 15 meters, so this perk is basically always active, and all it does is give you free stats, basically. I mean, more aim assist, more range. Like I said, range is already tied to aim assist, so it just helps out in general. And actually, looking back at that third column, there is another option, and that is firmly planted. If you're on mouse and keyboard, or if you're just a god on controller and you love doing those slide snipes, then firmly planted might be a contender with keep away. Firmly planted increases accuracy, stability, and handling when firing while crouched. Specifically, plus 30 handling, plus 20 stability, 40% accuracy cone size, 17% accuracy cone growth, and 80% horizontal recoil. It makes a significant difference, and you can really tell the difference on primary weapons with this perk. When you're shooting at rapid fire, you can immediately see the difference. It's a little bit harder to tell with a high impact sniper like this, but when you get that reticle pretty close to their head and pull the trigger and it snags a headshot out of nowhere, you can thank firmly planted for that one. But like I said, keep away was the one for me. Now let's move on to the fourth column. So there are actually some options here as well. The first one let's talk about is under pressure. So because in the Crucible you only have 2 shots out of a 3-round magazine, under pressure is always going to be procced for that last shot, which you will always use in the Crucible basically. And just to give you some specifics, it gives plus 30 stability, and depending on where you're at in the magazine, a negative 25 to negative 50% accuracy cone size. The scales, depending on where you're at in the magazine. So again, massive buffs to accuracy cone, and that is what you want to look for when sniping. That's going to help you snag those headshots. So under pressure is an option. And then Eye of the Storm, we are looking for perks that help that accuracy cone size growth, but Eye of the Storm requires you to be damaged or getting shot at. There will be snipers that can take a little bit of damage and then re-peek with the sniper with Eye of the Storm procced and benefit from this perk. It honestly is kind of a losing battle for me. I would not go with this one. especially because if you are actively getting shot and you try and go for a quick scope, it is extremely difficult in the sandbox. After they nerfed snipers and made them have a lot more flinch, it is extremely difficult to snag a shot while getting shot yourself. So let's put an X on Eye of the Storm. We won't do that one. And then there is explosive payload. So I have seen some streamers talking about this one. Explosive payload, you can actually miss a target and then the splash damage will do, I believe it is 70 damage to the target. So even if you miss someone and there's a wall behind them, it can explode and do a significant amount of damage. So it is something that some niche players are going to want to use, definitely. I used to use it on another adaptive sniper, and I just felt like it kind of messed with the hit registration for me, so I'm not a huge fan of it for snipers. I love it on primary weapons, but it is not one that I like to use on snipers. So as you can see, the last one, and this is the one I really recommend for basically anybody. Like I said, there are some good choices here: under pressure, explosive, but opening shot, that is what you want to go with. On the first shot, you get plus 20 aim assist, plus 25 range, negative 5% accuracy cone size, and a negative 10% accuracy cone growth. And that resets after 3.1 seconds. And honestly, when sniping, that is perfect, because a lot of the time you're ripping a shot off. If you hit or if you miss, you are immediately swapping to your primary anyway, just in case you have to get that cleanup. And then 3.1 seconds later, you can swap right back and have the benefits of this perk. And it's a lot of benefits for just having that first shot and just ripping it off and trying to snag someone's dome. So this is the one you want to go with. There's a lot of snipers with this one. People right now are using it a lot with Bite of the Fox and Occluded Finality. It's tried and true. Really, a lot of people have been using this one for a long time. I'm wondering if there's going to be a nerf soon, because it's one of those perks that just hasn't been touched in a while, and it's extremely powerful, especially on snipers. So try and use it while you can. I love it personally. I've been using it on my snipers for a very long time, and sometimes it just snags that headshot. You know, sometimes you're just maybe that one's not going to land, and then, you know, wham bam, they're dead. So go with this one. And then lastly, we got to talk about this Origin perk. We talked about it before with Phylotactic Spiral and Round Robin, but unfortunately for the sniper rifle, it's just not really going to help you in PvP, you know, at all. It works really well for primaries. It helps get a couple cleanups. It helps you alternate your time to kill. But with the sniper rifle, it's, you know, unfortunately it is kind of a waste of a slot. There are far better Origin traits out there for other snipers, and this one's just a little lackluster. So after you have it all set up like this with fluted, accurized, keep away, and opening shot, you are looking at 82 range, 28 stability, 49 handling, 28 reload, and 43 aim assist. This is really nice for these aggressive snipers. Before crafting, it was so difficult to get the perks you wanted, get that fluted to help out the handling, and get the other perks that you needed. Sometimes you would just get a perfect roll but not have fluted to help out with the handling, and that would result in a sluggish sniper, and no one likes that. So now you can craft it. That's really the path you want to go if you have the time to spare to grind out all those red borders. But don't forget that keep away and opening shot are also going to be augmenting that range and aim assist for you. So, you know, while the high impacts, they don't have very high aim assist, this one's sitting at 43. There's a lot of room for improvement, and these perks really help that out. So, you know, if you're outside the 15 meters and you're on that first shot of the engagement, boom, you're looking at better accuracy cone size, more range, more aim assist. It is really, really noticeable when you are lining up shots. You can feel, on controller at least, you can feel the friction. You can, when you squeeze one off next to someone's head, you can tell that bullet bends right at it. So this is going to be the god roll in my opinion. I definitely encourage, if you're thinking I'm going to be super aggressive, I'm not going to be I'm going to be going for those quick scopes within 15 meters of enemies, then go for firmly planted, go for those slide snipes. Those are super effective. It's a great way to get around corners without getting shot and avoiding that flinch, squeezing off that shot, and then, even if it's a body, you have an easy cleanup. So that is definitely an option, something you can try out. And that's a nice time to segue into how these aggressives are in the sandbox. I talked about this in our recent Succession video. Aggressives, in my opinion, they are the top dogs right now. A lot of people will say adaptives are the best, and I understand why completely. They have great aim assist, they usually have great zooms on their scopes. Those are the things that snipers find value in, and I completely understand. But in my opinion, having that extra damage is imperative in the Crucible, especially in the sandbox. You have a lot of Titans walking around with overshields from their barriers. You have healing grenades. You have all these ways to increase your damage resistance, and having that high impact just guarantees that if they're weak, you're going to put them down with a body shot, or if they're in a super, you don't need to worry about having Vorpal taking up a perk slot. You can just know that one headshot is going to put them down, and that's going to be that. The Volta Bracket, it is just absolutely gorgeous. Even though it doesn't have snapshot, I still keep it around just because it looks so cool. And it's not just nothing either. It has some good perks. It has some great perks to help out the aim assist and the accuracy cone. Those things are important. It is going to help you in laning situations and trials when you know that people will be peeking certain lanes. You know they're going to be there. All you need is that extra help with the aim assist and accuracy cone to annihilate them. And it is also worth mentioning that if they do ever buff snipers and not make it so they all require snapshot, this thing will be a monster. It's going to have all the benefits that you want, and hopefully it will be just as snappy without snapshot. And for those doubters out there that are thinking, why would Bungie ever do that? Snapshot's been on snipers forever, that's the way we do it. Well, they already have done that. They already patched snipers to make them feel more fluid and have better handling without snapshot. So if that's the direction that they're going to continue on, then this sniper is something that you're going to want to keep your eye on. Make sure you have it crafted and have all the enhanced perks for it. Well, that is it, guys. Thanks again for stopping by. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day.